The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on the break!
with Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 27. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios. We are presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at lg.com/OLED Evo. Welcome to the show. It's the first show of the 2025 season. We are now into our daily regimen of shows. We will be going every day at 11 o'clock. For the rest of this week. Monday we will not have shows, but on Tuesday we'll have another show. Wednesday we'll be traveling to Philadelphia. Thursday the Cowboys will take on the Eagles, and Friday, as always, you guys need to come right back here so we can tell you everything that happened and why it happened.
I immediately got nervous. My stomach is
about Philly.
Said, yeah, that's happening next week already.
Don't
it's
worry
insane.
about that. We'll be all right. But Derek, let me ask you something. So we're competing with Talking Cowboys. That starts today.
Is it really a competition?
You started it.
Yeah.
And they kind of drag me into it, so it's on now.
They keep acting like it's a competition. It's never been a competition.
love that.
But I like that they compete. It's just never been a competition. Like,
Because you always whooping them is what you're saying, because you always smoking and whooping feet.
Does Tyrus Sweet compete with Micah Parsons?
Chill.
I don't think so. But he tries. He tries, and that's good. He should try. You set a standard, right?
Tyrus Wheat makes the attempt Talking Cowboys. They try.
They try. It's okay.
Girls talking get it too, but go ahead, please.
Everybody can get it.
All of them.
Yeah. We just set the standard. Our job
Sure.
is to set the standard on the break, and then everybody else has to try to shoot for that.
They make an attempt.
There you go.
See, I'm all about teamwork. We're all a team in this business, in this building.
I'm competitive. Our team versus the other team.
I'm competitive, so I'm here for the smoke.
What you gonna do?
I'm here for the smoke. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Today we are talking about the roster. Cowboys make their cut down to the 53-man roster. We're going to go through, we're going to talk about some positions that I thought were interesting, some of the moves that the Cowboys made, get your opinions. I'm going to throw out some of these positions, and then I'll let you guys just kind of riff on them and talk about what you saw. Later in the show, we're going to go through the positions, each of the positions, and I'm going to have you guys give me a grade for each position, where you think they are at this current moment. Obviously, we know the roster can still change, but at this current moment, where would you grade the Cowboys roster at each of the positions, all the way from quarterback down to specialist? Let's start first, though, with some of the moves that the Cowboys made. Cowboys' first interesting move was Cowboys decide to only carry 2 quarterbacks. We did talk about that earlier in the week. Will Grier out right now. What were your thoughts?
I'm fine with that. If anything bad happens to 4, it'll be the break versus the draft show at that point when it turns into ratings. I'm just not going to expect.
Now, that's a formidable opponent, just so you know.
Damn right it is.
That's a formidable opponent.
But yeah, there's no need to carry around a whole bunch of guys in that way. I think Joe Milton did what everybody kind of wanted him to do, and that's beat Will Grier, so to speak. So Joe is our quarterback too. You don't really need a guy unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency like that, then sure, you can pick up the phone and call somebody to come in and make a handful of handoffs for you, but it's Dak and Joe, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that they had to do that because they're looking to carry that extra defensive lineman. We talked about where did they take that spot from? The quarterback? Did they take it from the offensive line? So the fact that they're carrying 11 defensive linemen, that they had to go somewhere, and they're going to do their best to get Will back onto the practice squad, and maybe if they have to bring him up and down, they'll be able to do that. But yeah, this is Joe Milton's job if something were to happen to Dak Prescott. And right now, I kind of felt like going into camp, that's really how they wanted to roll, and here we are. So the 2 quarterbacks doesn't surprise me one bit.
I'm kind of confused as to how exactly Joe beat Will Grier in this whole competition, especially after what you watched during the preseason. And don't get me wrong, I like Joe Milton. I'm actually a fan, but I think he's long ways to go still. He is a talent that just needs to be developed. He's still in the developing process, and I think they see a lot. I mean, clearly they see the potential there. But if bleep hits the fan,
Sure.
What are you gonna do? Do you feel comfortable now? You're talking about the roster changing completely. You're hoping to have a more solid offensive line, different receivers, different running backs in the game supporting his game, so that should look differently. But it was surprising to me not to see Will Grier on the list.
There was your answer. Milton has the upside. Milton got traits, and Shadio said 1,000 times, we know what Grier is.
Yeah.
We have no idea what Milton could be. So just that ceiling and the idea that you don't need Milton or Grier right now. Dak is the guy right now. So now you got time to, 3 years or so to kind of mold and see what you have. And if Milton can turn into a Jordan Love situation where he's sitting down 4 years and you could just roll him out in year 4 or whatever, then I think that's what you're looking for. I don't think Will Grier is going to be that much better then than what he is now.
Yeah, my thing about Will Grier, I think he's an okay quarterback. Cool. I think if you get into a situation where you needed to win a couple games without Dak, the way I look at it is at least Milton can maybe throw some wrinkles, as you were saying earlier this week.
Yeah.
Like you can run a college offense.
This is where
with
it's
him,
going to go. This is where
and
it's
you
gonna
can
go.
do some
Yeah.
things that can throw teams off because
Right.
it's unconventional. It's
Right.
something they haven't seen from the Cowboys. Yeah. It might get you by for 2 to 3 games. Even though, again, you're right, Amber. I think he has a long way to go from a development standpoint to be the quarterback that they would hope that he would be. But I do think for a couple games, he might be able to throw some different wrinkles that can confuse teams and allow the Cowboys to get some wins.
They will play, their offense will turn into what we saw against Atlanta. It'll be the read option. It'll be him running. It will be the passes he threw. He was accurate in that game. And the receivers in the training camp have been running really nice routes for him. And the games have been running nice routes. He finally was rewarding them for the good route running that they were able to do. So I think the offense, as you said, Derek, it'll turn into a college offense. It'll be something that, okay, now teams are going to have to prepare for something different. We've seen teams do this. We saw Green Bay do it last year with Willis. They went in, with Love, it's a different offense. Willis comes in, not as accomplished of a passer. Now they turn it into a college offense, and they find a way to win a few games.
They decided on the offensive line to carry 9 guys. Of note, Awesome Richards traded to New Orleans. What are your thoughts on carrying 9 and also the idea to trade Awesome Richards?
Well, tell me about this. This is what I learned this morning, and I didn't know this yesterday when they had the trade went down. I thought that was for a 2026 draft pick. No. It's 2028. And I was thinking that the Saints.
Are we still going to be here in 2020?
Yeah, I walked by Nick Eatman. I'll say I'll be at the lake when you announce that one. But the thing about it with
I doubt it. You like your job way too much to be away from it.
I do.
That's not gonna happen.
Absolutely in love with football.
But yeah, I was in my thought. I was thinking, brilliant. 2026 Saints pick could end up being a very, very high pick. It could be like this could be one of those teams that. And nothing against Kellen Moore, but this is a team that could have been, probably picking in the top 3. And I was just thinking, boy, that could be like a late 5, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's 2028 there, dumbass. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now I like what they did for getting a guy, but like I said, if they're going to move on, obviously, Cornelius, who they kept, I kind of feel like that's your 53rd player on this roster right now.
I was just curious, when did Nate Thomas clearly win left tackle too? Like when did it happen? I remember being at camp, and the first camp, Awesome was the first guy out there.
Yeah.
Like he was left tackle too.
Right.
Then when Nate got up there, they just never went back to Awesome. And
Never
I always
did.
say that if you're a tall tackle, you end up playing guard and all this other kind of stuff, then the writing's on the wall for you. Bryan, you would always tell us you would hear things about how Awesome maybe wasn't happy playing in certain spots.
Yeah, he didn't want to play tackle. He wanted to play guard.
So
And
I
he's
wonder-
a better tackle than he is a guard.
I wonder if getting along with coaches had something to do with this. Is just me talking. I'm not reporting nothing. I'm just guessing as to why immediately Nate Thomas, this guy that didn't play at all last year,
Yeah.
ended up at left tackle too and didn't leave the spot. I just thought that was weird.
Well, let me ask you this. It seemed as though when Nate Thomas got the opportunity to start running with the ones, he looked pretty good running with the ones. Is that maybe when this happened?
I'll tell you this.
Nate was cool, but I didn't think Nate was so good that we're just removing him from the Awesome fight. Please.
I'll tell you where it got me was when I had the chance to watch the last minicamp practice. And all of a sudden I saw Nate Thomas, who I thought was a guard, playing the second right tackle.
Sure.
That's where I thought, like, whoa, what are we doing here? Then all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, Awesome Richards is naturally going to be, I thought, well, Awesome Richards, swing guy, he's going to get the first crack if something happens. But they did. They went with Nate Thomas right off the jump. So they saw something in OTAs, the minicamp practices, that we didn't get to see because he was running it was a surprise to me. I'm like, man, him the second right tackle, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then boom, training camp, and so now he's likely going to be your starter in week 1 against the Eagles.
Next area where Cowboys made a move, they carried 3 tight ends. We did think it would probably be 3. My question for you is, only carrying 3 and Spanford being one of them, are you convinced that maybe points to the fact he will be ready by week 1 from his injury, or do you think it's more of a situation where Lepke's going to have to fill that 3rd tight end role until Spanford is available?
I would guess that if Brevin wasn't ready, then he wouldn't, like, this wouldn't be such a short room. Like, I thought it was going to be 4 tight ends, and I just knew Princeton Fant was just going to find his way on here after whooping people in the game and looking bigger and looking more confident and all this. And Fant was a guy that normally the past 3 years, he was one of those first guys that, we would hear about Fant getting cut early, but it seems like it went down to the wire this time. So Fant is still kind of working his way up there, and there's still room for practice squad, I guess, for him. But if anything were to happen, I guess that's a route that they could go. But I would assume that Brevin's good to go because you're only going 3 tight ends. And if it ends up being Lipke, then fine.
Yeah, that's the thing with Lipke. He's probably going to be your guy that's the backup running back, and he's also your backup tight end in certain situations. So obviously they feel comfortable that he could fill those 2 roles for wherever they need. And I agree on Fant. I thought Fant was really good when it came to the blocking aspect of things. Boy, the movement and things, he caught a couple of passes, but the guy that caught the passes was Fairweather.
Sure.
That's the one that you kind of like. I wonder if people are going to go back and look at him and say, wow, he had a really productive 3 games. You start to see a little bit of him moving around, and people look at their college reports and say, wow, we missed him. And maybe if, our 3rd or 4th tight end's not any good, that might be a claim for you right there.
Well, the benefit is Hunter Lipke, like you guys mentioned. I think I've seen enough of him blocking that I enjoy in seeing the kind of job that he's done, that he can be helpful in that sense. And seeing him making the list, honestly, I wasn't 100% sure he was going to make it as well, but I like the fact that they see the talent there. And similar to the whole Brevin Spanford, I know it's a different situation there, but and we'll get into it, but Trevon Diggs, I mean, does that encourage you to think that both of these guys are going to be ready a lot sooner than we thought? We'll see.
Be an interesting question.
Yeah, I kind of feel like to answer your question about Diggs real quick on that one is they're trying to get him, it's more likely maybe week 2. They're trying to get him 8 weeks of conditioning, and the week 2 would fall in the 8th week. That number seems to be pretty important to them right now. Hopefully, like I say, it is a good sign that he has been taken off the PUP list. That's allowed him to be able to practice and do the walkthroughs and things like that he needs to do to try and get ready.
Next position, Cowboys carry 5 wide receivers. Trayshawn Holden, Jalen Brooks, both cut. What did you think of that decision, the decision to carry 5, the decision to get rid of both of them, and which would you expect would be the first priority to get back to the practice squad?
I would imagine Brooks, because he does more for the team overall. And look, Holden fought for his life. I mean, shouts out to him. He showed up and he made plays and he caught passes. But Shotty will tell you, it came down to what can you do for the whole team and not just catching passes. And Brooks is a team's guy. So if I had to bet who's the first guy up, it'll be him. Flournoy making the team over Brooks. Shouts out to Flournoy. I think it's not just teams with him. I just think Flournoy got so much better as a wide receiver. Like him running routes and getting open and catching passes. I just wanted Joe Milton to hit him more so we could all see it. But if you just go back and watch the film, even when the ball's not right on him, Flournoy did something this year that he didn't do last year, and that set guys up. That set guys up and re-leverage and find zone holes in the openings and all this kind of stuff. So Flournoy seems to be picking it up quicker. And let's just be clear, I don't expect Flournoy to make big noise here. This is still 88-3, Ferguson, run the ball somewhere. I don't think wide receiver 4 and 5 are really getting involved like that. But just if you happen to need him one day, he could do wide receiver things.
I will say this real quick too. Coach did mention that when it came to Flournoy, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, he said he has been the absolute best special teams player they had on the roster. Yeah. So that does help. It certainly helps when you get farther down the roster.
Yeah, it absolutely does help. And this is where now we have to ask the question, though, after 4 weeks, say they have to bring back Mingo, and all of a sudden you've got guys, and Flournoy is a big part of the special teams, and he's doing all the things. He's doing the dirty work. He's the stunt man in the running game and stuff. He's crack toss guy. He's doing all these things that he showed during the preseason. Now, where does this put Mingo as a relation to? I think the guy that's on a little bit of alert right now is Tolbert. I think this is a really important next 4 games for Tolbert to be able to show that he can solidify his position on this team.
Is wide receiver 4 right now Tolbert or Turpin?
I think right now it's probably Tolbert.
Does Tolbert have a job on teams anywhere? Does he run down and tackle anybody?
See, that's the saying. When you watched him play, there was a really good example about this in the Rams game, was that good block by Flournoy, but block in the back by Tolbert. He just doesn't look really comfortable playing special teams. And then I was watching some games, the Philadelphia game from last year, the one that was played at AT&T. Tolbert comes in motion, is going to be an inside crack guy, doesn't get the job done. So to me, when it's going to be the 4th and 5th receiver on this team, it's going to be about a tough guy. It is going to be a guy that's willing to kind of be the stunt man that does all the jobs that nobody else wants to do. And I kind of feel like that Tolbert is the one that's got to find a way to show up. He can't play at one good game and then disappear for a couple. The consistency has got to be better for him.
Yeah, I don't want to say Tolbert got lucky because these guys work really, really hard at what they do. But it was, I think the situation with Mingo kind of helped get him on the roster in that way. Otherwise, I don't know if he would have made it on the roster.
Yeah, actually, I'll ask you, this might be an unfair question, but I'd like for you guys to tell me if Mingo were healthy.
Yeah.
How do you think this played out? This would have played out.
There's 2 positions that clearly that there was some worry about: the wide receiver and the defensive tackle. There's a couple of players there that right now that didn't have great preseasons, in my opinion, and that would be with Tolbert and that would be with Mozzie Smith. And then you start to talk about those 2 guys are on the roster right now, and so I think if Mingo was here, it would be. I know from my personal view of being like a pro personnel guy, I would be standing on the table. We can't let Flournoy go.
Yeah.
We can't. I mean, my gosh, look what he does. He does everything that we need. Now, that all being said, Mingo has got to come back and be ready to go. You can't just plug him in and think, okay, well, it's going to be different, because what if this group is really, really humming? What if Tolbert's really the guy, really playing well? There's going to be, but I think just right now, initially, the guy that I would keep an eye on how he plays the next 4 weeks is Tolbert. That's the one I think they would move on from.
Let's take our first break. We'll come back. I want to talk about the defensive tackle position and the cornerback position, and then we'll give our grades for where we think the Cowboys roster stands. Now we'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
AT&T has a new guarantee, because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here. As the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, you know I take cookware seriously, especially when it comes to America's team. So when the Cowboys are away, I'm putting my Yeti cast iron skillets to work to make my game day favorites for friends and family. I'm talking chicken fried steak, skillet queso, and peach cobbler. And just like the Cowboys are forever, so are these heirloom cast iron skillets. Check out the full line of skillets on Yeti.com or at a Yeti store near you.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united. If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Don't put off getting your oil change, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. They're so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. That means you won't even have time to show off your best touchdown celebration. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Oh, we got a new raid.
We've had it since training camp.
Have we?
You ain't been here.
Oh my God.
you ain't been here. Derek ain't been here. We've been talking about LG OLED Evo for what, months?
Since we started it at the beginning of
Nobody
training
gave
camp.
me the memo.
Bro, you've been hearing it since
crazy.
training camp. We've been on the shows together.
Really?
That's crazy.
Ay.
I'm too busy doing other things, making sure you guys have a show to actually do. So, you know, I'm handling the
that
business.
money. You right, man. You right.
I'm handling the business. All right, welcome back. We're in the second segment of the break live from SWBC Morgan Studios at the Star. This segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. All right, we are going through the roster cuts. Let's talk about the defensive tackle position. Cowboys decide to carry 5. Interesting note, Perrion Winfrey, Mozzie Smith, Jay Toia all make the team. What are your thoughts?
5 is a lot, huh, Bryan, for D tackles?
It is. And a lot has to do probably with, there was some talk that maybe Winfrey wasn't going to be on the team. And I was kind of, boy, that was stressful. That was stressful considering that, I was thinking like, man, this for how Matty Eberflus is going to want to play this front and how he is going to try to attack people. It's not the biggest defensive line. But the one thing that Winfrey can do is he can play some one and he can angle and he could get upfield and he can be disruptive. And we saw him get a sack last time out against Atlanta playing as a defensive end. The effort, just the ability to make plays. Boy, that would have been really a very difficult time for me just looking at it and saying, how do you put that guy on the street? Considering the way his camp has been, the practices, the games. Boy, that tests me a little bit, but then I got word. It's like, whoa, he's going to be on the team, and I'm like, oh, thank God. I was a little bit worried there, but the one right now is, and this is the general manager's prerogative to do, and I think that he wants to give Mozzie Smith one more chance. I really do believe this. Yep. I really do, but if in fact that Brian Schottenheimer had not been here and maybe was a new head coach and new to the organization, maybe there would be a different thing going on here. But I think this is a request from the general manager, and that's his job. His job is to say, okay, this is the team I would like to put out on the field. And it's his responsibility. And if he wants to see Mozzie Smith, then these coaches need to get Mozzie Smith ready the best that they can.
Are we now going into year 4?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'll say this. I'm not going to blame Mozzie Smith, and I'll tell you why. Mozzie Smith was never a good scheme fit here at all. He never was. And they could talk about that, but when the way that they play, and then Mozzie's had to go through, I think Will McClay, and I'm sure I'll get a text from Will, and he's probably going to be mad at me for saying this, but I think he really fought for Mozzie Smith because of Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn thought he could do something with Mozzie Smith with that type of player. And we all remember DallasCowboys.com had an outstanding war room shot of Will McClay arguing for why to draft Mozzie Smith. And I think he did this for the defensive coaches. But now you look at where it's all transpired, everywhere that every new coach that's come in, it's been somewhat of a bad fit for Mozzie Smith. So to me, it's not his fault. He was drafted to do something that he really wasn't capable of, but they probably saw the player the wrong way. And so now he's in this situation again where they want to play with guys upfield. They want to play with quickness. They want to do all this. That's just not his game. But you have the general manager says, listen, please, let's see if we can get something out of him. I saw something last year. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if this coach can get something out of him. But unfortunately, though, he's kind of an outsider when it comes to the way they really want to play their fronts now.
That's unfortunate, Bryan. And, you're not wrong. Like, it's not Mozzie's fault. But, being a first-round pick, there's expectations that come with that. And you would like for Mozzie to be good enough to play in multiple schemes.
Yeah.
Osa's a guy in UCLA, Bryan. He was playing zero, taking on doubles, and then he moved to A-gap for the Senior Bowl. He was good there, and he came to the Cowboys his rookie year. He was an upfield guy. He turned into an upfield guy. Osa did, right? So you would expect for your first-round pick to be able to deal with that, because if Eberflus gets fired this year, you're going to get a whole nother coach, right? Yeah. If you're going to be a first-round pick, we expect you to be around for a long time. There's going to be a lot of different coaches.
But it's not his fault that he got picked in the first round.
That ain't his fault either. You ain't wrong about that.
That's if Mozzie Smith was a fifth-round pick right now, we'd all be like, wow, we see Mozzie having a decent game against Philly. Wow, Mozzie made a tackle for a loss there. The fact that he's the first-round player, they across the hall made that determination. They put that tag on him.
Sure.
So, yeah, the expectations, first-round pick. They've had plenty of first-round picks that have busted here. I mean, you could go all the way back to the Tom Landry era here. They've had several first-round picks.
Every team does.
Yeah.
Part of it.
And so, to me, the unfortunate thing is we continue to ask stuff of Mozzie Smith that he's just not capable of doing. He is not a quick player. He is a power player. That's it. That's what he is. And, and I guess Jerry Jones is asking, Coach White Cotton and these guys to kind of, listen, I saw a little bit from him last year. Can you figure out a way to get a little bit more out of him?
I saw a lot from Winfrey, though. So that's
absolutely did.
That's the
Winfrey is a disruptive player.
Yeah,
that's the big
disruptive
issue.
Absolutely.
That's the whole weird thing here. Like, Mozzie is the first round, and sure, maybe you need time. Winfrey came from the UFL and he showed up clearly better. I think that's where the outrage would have come from, right? With social media, Bryan getting mad on the radio, me getting mad on the internet, is Winfrey clearly. You can use your eyes. You ain't got to be Parcells. You ain't got to be a Super Bowl winning scout. Use your eyes. Winfrey's clearly the better guy. And if you would have lost him due to what some would call politics, then that's where the nonsense argument comes from, right? Yeah. And look, if they're deciding to keep Mozzie because of a money situation or something like that, 5 D tackles is a lot. You're not going to use all of them. And
he might be the inactive guy every week.
He might have to be.
He might be the 53rd player on your roster. And if they claim somebody today, then he might be the first guy off.
And if that's the case, then give me somebody else right now if he's the first guy out at that point, Bryan. But we're not fighting.
That's what I'm saying. No. What I'm trying to say is, though, did you lose Brooks and did you lose others?
Israel, maybe.
Yeah.
When your cornerback room needs help,
exactly.
Still
did
hurt
you
guys.
Lose?
Yeah.
And they very well could put in a claim for a defensive back today. Yeah. That's something that I think that we'll probably be hearing about here later in the day.
Sure.
So to me, did it maybe cost? That's the thing that bothers me. Did it cost you somebody? Mm-hmm. But the general manager, we marched to where, in the personnel staff, we marched to whatever the general manager says. If he says we're going to have this guy, we're going to have this guy, and whether we hate it or not, that's our jobs. So, he's got to, but now it's on the coaches too. Find something to do. And the coaches have to work hard. I hope they just don't discard Mozzie Smith.
Shotty said it yesterday, Bryan. He said, we're going to have to find ways to fix his routine, to work on his body, have to find and look for ways to
That's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. That sounds like we're together.
Yeah.
Let's figure out something to make it work. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, they must see something in him, and we'll see again.
The GM
just
does.
like you. Well, the thing is, if you're a new head coach,
but he's been here. He's been here for 4 years, so he should know.
That's what I'm saying.
He should know.
Exactly. But at the same time, you would think that based on everything that has occurred up until now, with a lot of the decisions, even the general manager, he has given Schottenheimer a lot of say in what is to be done and who is to be here. So, again, I'm not in those conversations to know who said what is happening. Mm-hmm. He might as well be cut later, like you guys mentioned, to create space for another bigger need at another position. But maybe, just maybe, they see something that we haven't been seeing to where they could potentially get a better player out of him this year.
Amber, you got eyes. When you watching Perion Winfrey fly his ass upfield, it's totally different.
It is.
But he's on the team. So that's why I'm not arguing that.
So now we're not fighting because Perry.
Right. He's on the team.
If they sacrifice,
if he wasn't here, I'm fussing on
if they
Bring the gloves.
sacrifice
at that point.
Yeah, you didn't want to hear the rant I went on pre-show yesterday on 105.
Yeah, I heard you come back later and be like, yeah, my bad. I thought y'all got me kind of hype. I wasn't ready to do that yet. But no, I still do believe that a lot of this probably has to do with the fact that he is a first-round pick.
Sure.
And they believe, the people that are making the decisions believe that they've seen, whether it's a small amount or a large amount, I think it's probably more small, they've seen some growth and progress in the previous 3 years. And from that standpoint, they're not willing to give up on the experiment just yet. I think that's really what it comes down to. And I think they want to see if he can continue that progression, and then maybe this year it hits. But that's really what I think is happening there. And I think at this point, that's probably why they carry 5 instead of 4 defensive tackles.
We had a feeling that they were going to go long at that position.
Yeah.
Just had
because
and it could, the Mozzie was always going to be a factor in this one.
Yeah.
Because I really do believe the general manager says, let's see if we can make this work. They really trust this defensive line coach. They think this defensive line coach can turn all these guys into great players. So that's why I think they're.
Well, for a lineman, how much wiggle room? How many years? How many seasons are you? Willing to spend on somebody?
Oh no, he's at the very end of the rope.
Yeah, I think
like this is it.
Yeah,
he's not getting a 5th-year option. I would think playing at the level that he's played to this point.
Not at this point.
Even at his best games, I don't think that he's done enough for them to necessarily go on a 5th-year option.
Even if you see Mozzie getting better year by year, you'll give him more rope. Mozzie looks like he did kind of in previous years or whatnot, and then there's new guys showing up on the level of him or better than him. So that's what's making it really weird for him.
Yep. All right, we're going to take our final break. We will come back. We got one more position we're going to hit, and then we're going to go through the entire roster, give grades on each position. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner. With over $9 billion in business loans and more than 140 business specialists right here in North Texas, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Back to the break.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. In the final segment of the break, we are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. Let's talk about the cornerback position. The Cowboys decided to carry 6. Some interesting things to note here. C.J. Goodwin not on the roster. He is their special teams ace. The expectation is at some point they're probably going to try to get him back. But Kalen Carson, Andrew Booth, Zion Childress all make the squad. Keemon Hall, Troy Pride did not. Israel Mukuamu also cut. What are your thoughts about the cornerback position and all that's transpired there?
So, Bryan, is Kalen Carson supposed to be an IR guy or something?
Yeah, that's what you're probably going to get. You're going to get him and Maffa are the two guys that I believe.
And explain why those guys didn't go to IR immediately. They will get put on IR and
because
then
the league allows you only 2 guys to recall, and so what they've done is for designation they've done it with Mingo on a recall. He didn't have to be on the roster for a day, and exactly. So they've got a couple of guys that they're trying to. They want to make sure that in 4 weeks that they can get back without having to do anything. So that means that Carson had to be on, and that means that Maffa had to be on, and then they'll get switched out today.
So if Carson's going to be an IR guy, you only have 4 corners.
That's what it looks like right now. Yeah,
and Diggs is not a week 1 guy.
Right.
So they got to do something at cornerback, basically.
Well, they think that right now, I just.
C.J. Goodwin ain't covering nobody.
No, C.J. Goodwin is not covering anything.
Other than on kickoff. That's about it.
Covering kicks. That's it.
Yeah, so that's why I think today we're going to see some type of a claim.
Yeah.
So, Bryan, why new guy and not just keep Israel McCormick? Like, why not keep him because he's been here and they paid him in March and all this kind of stuff? But why go find a new character for that?
Maybe they like to say when you have a new staff. I mean, Izzy was playing at the end. Remember, Izzy was playing corner. Then all of a sudden they put him at safety. And so what do we always talk about? When they move you from tackle to guard, they don't know what position you're going to play. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of move on from there. I feel like to me that this coaching staff probably felt like that, listen, we've seen enough that, and they came in as a new staff. They broke down all the players that played. And, they have an idea. They've gone through all these training camp practices. They've gone through the preseason games. And they probably feel like that, listen, there's probably somebody out on the street that we would rather have. Maybe it's a guy that they've coached up. Maybe there's a guy, at Chicago or one of these places that they know that if they put a guy out there that you're going to make a claim on. Like I say, I think it's going to be a defensive back. And we'll see a little bit later on. But it's just, I think it's about a new staff coming in. Mm-hmm. General manager put his foot down about the defensive tackle. So, but he didn't put his foot down about the corners. Yeah. So that's kind of where I think that's at.
You see, I've told myself that I'm going to start the season very optimistic. But, silence, Derek.
Silencio.
But, I can predict myself being very upset at what the secondary puts together on game day.
For the season or just for this first game?
For the first few weeks.
Okay.
If Diggs is back, this thing's going to look better because what I would do is I would put Elam at corner. I would play Diggs on the outside, and then I'd put Bland inside.
And I'll run that group out there. I feel good about that group.
That's a good group.
But see, specifically for this upcoming week, and we'll get into that as the week goes along.
You're playing some of the best wide receivers in the league.
And that's the thing. You've known that this is what you've got for a while. Like, this injury didn't happen a couple of weeks ago. Like, we've known this way before training camp. So that's just like the thing. I'm like, I know I'm gonna be so mad. I hope I'm wrong, but I can predict it. I can predict me being in the press box with my fist like this and then my sweaty hands getting so mad at watching what is happening and being like, we knew this was what we had at the moment. Why was it not addressed? But I'm getting too ahead of myself, so calm down.
Because we had to keep Mozzie, that's why.
Well, here's the thing.
I think the Diggs move is actually good news.
Yes, fantastic.
I think it's helped in a lot of ways. I was expecting him not to be around till the mid-October.
Yeah, me too.
So to me, this is. I think you're only going to have to play one game potentially with, say, with Childress playing in the slot, maybe.
Well, at the same time, I think we're dismissing the fact of the time that he has been out.
What you should be worried about. What you should be worried about is Micah Parsons not playing, because that will affect your secondary more than anything.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's clear the Cowboys felt better about the idea of, at least for a couple of weeks at the most, whatever, that they'd rather run Zion Childress out there in the slot than have Israel Mukuamu out there cornerback for them. That was the decision. I think that is what it came down to. And so my belief is that they just were good with saying, hey, we'll move on from him. Neither one of them will probably be playing at whatever point you get Diggs back. But in the short term, I think they just felt like
what it showed you too is they threw Hall out there to start training camp. They threw Hall out there as a starter. And so that just really kind of just shows you what they thought of Izzy right there. That they said, oh, well, we'll just put Hall out there and let him be number one, and then until he proved that and not that Hall was terrible. I think Childress was just better. And I'll tell you where I think Childress is better. When teams play, let's say, reduced formations and stuff, and they run the ball, and he's playing, say, inside, that guy is physical. That is an extra tackler right there in the box. And that's kind of like what we used to have with Bell under the Dan Quinn administration. When Bell had to play down in the box and play that linebacker role, he was pretty good at doing that stuff. You get the same thing with Childress.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. We got about 5 minutes left. We're going to run through each position. I want you guys to give me a grade on where you think the Cowboys are right now. No more moves as they sit today. Quarterback.
A+, we got Dak.
Yeah, I think I would go with a B.
B.
Yeah.
A.
Running back.
C.
If Jadon Blue takes over, I'll give him a C+.
B-.
Tight end.
Ferg is going to carry it most of the way. B+.
C+.
B+.
All right. Wide receiver.
A++++. Especially when you only throwing it to 80.
The plus.
Don't even throw the ball to nobody else. I don't even want to see Turpin get no charge. Just throw it to 80.
Hey.
I'm being hyperbolic here, but you got Lamb and I expect Pickens to be much better than what the rest of the league thinks Pickens is. Kenny Pickens just got traded again, by the way. You know, he's going to move to some other team. Yeah. Pickens got the best.
Was like 4 teams in 3 years or something?
Please, something crazy like that. Pickens going to go crazy. A+++++.
That's an A.
A+. I do want to see some Turpin in there thrown in there, please. Please.
But that's also what, in my opinion, that's also what makes the wide receiver A+, is because it's not just those top two guys. Sure. Turpin's going to be a factor this year. A real factor. All right. Offensive line.
B-.
B+ for now.
I think B- right now. They got to figure out the left tackle stuff. I mean, if the left tackle, this thing is going to hinge on how the left tackle plays.
I think the left tackle is going to be fine. I want the right guard to be what I think he's going to be.
Oh, the right guard's going to be fine.
We straight.
Nobody worried about the right tackle?
Oh, I'm always worried about the right tackle. Okay. Yeah, but I'm going to go B- there on that group.
I think Terrence will be fine.
Just a B.
Interesting. Real quick, y'all graded like. Where's your biggest concern on the offensive line going position by position all the way to the one you
left tackle, right tackle, center, right guard, left guard.
Right guard, left tackle, right tackle, center, left guard.
Wait, say again?
That
was fast.
Booker first because he's the rookie, so I just want to make sure that he's good to go. Guyton because Guyton last year is all I know, so I have to see it from Guyton.
Yeah.
I know Terrence Steele can play. Terrence Steele will get whooped by Nick Bosa and TJ Watt because he's supposed to. But Terrence Steele, for the most part, if he's healthy, he's steady. BB going wood feet. Tyler Smith, I have no issues with him.
Yeah, Tyler Smith's the best one.
All right, no doubt. Yeah.
I just went down to a B-. Once you presented names, I was like that.
Welcome to the dark side.
So much for the optimism you start to see.
Did that start as a B+?
Oh, crap. I forgot about that.
Terrence Steele, your third best match? We got time to change it. We'll be doing this all.
I feel more comfortable on one side versus the other. So when you start talking about Guyton and Booker, I mean, you have hope in what they can do, but it's just, again, we have to see it.
We got to see.
This could be a B+A offensive line if, in fact, that they get all those things taken care of.
All right, defensive line.
I feel real good about the D-line. I got an A+. If Michael plays, I got an A+ for D. We don't even talk about Dante.
And you ain't worried about the defensive tackle. Like, to say A+, that means you're good with the defensive tackle.
Well, he's thinking that maybe that Mozzie's not going to play. And
fair, but even at that, you feel that good about the defensive tackle position?
You got a lot of pass rush that I like. Yeah. I like B-gap. A-gap can be dealt with if you scheme it properly. Yeah. And Kenneth Murray is going to help you a lot with just being physical down here. Yep. So, sure, B+++++, but I feel really good about the D-line in general.
Got it.
I would say this is, I'm going to go with a B.
I think I'm actually at an A- or B+, but I taking Micah into consideration as part of the group, I actually really, really like what the defensive line presents.
All right, linebacker.
Go ahead and throw a C on it.
C+++++. Till Overshown get back.
Just make it a B-.
I'll tell you what, I was watching Philly and Dallas last year, and the game that was played in AT&T. Overshown wrecked that game. I mean, he was really good in that game.
Oh, and they get him back.
Yeah,
it's going to be as a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I think that's probably a C group right now until we figure it out.
B-. Depending on the defensive line, I think they can get help in that sense. So, but I like a lot of what Liufau has done in general. I have hope in Sanborn and what he can bring in there too, and Murray as well. So, B-.
All right, let's get defensive backs.
In week 2, I'll give us like an A, minus.
Initially, it's looking like a C with the chance of going to B in week 2 for sure.
All right.
Say.
All right. Specialists.
A.
Yeah, A. We got this kick.
Because of C, right?
Yeah, I watched a team the other day. Like the Jets were trying to get in field goal range, and they were struggling to even. I mean, and like I'm thinking, all right, all you had to do is get to the Jet logo, and you're going to win this game. And the Jets kept running plays because they couldn't get their kicker close enough. To win the game.
That ain't the Cowboys.
The Cowboys need, if it's a touchback, the Cowboys need 15 offensive yards to get in field goal range. You can't beat
that. There's no question.
Yeah. No doubt. Easy. And they will go for it, too, because they trust him.
That'll get you to the 50. Yeah.
That's true.
That's
15 offensive plays is crazy.
Punter scaring me a little bit, though.
Weapon.
Yeah.
Punter scaring me a little bit. He's had a couple of those punts where it's like 38 yards.
All right, we ain't gonna punt, Brian. We just gonna play offense and kick with our
field goals.
We ain't gonna play. Don't worry about it.
There you go. All right, we appreciate you guys joining us. We'll be back on tomorrow.
I think you gave an AF for today.
A++++.
We start breaking down Cowboys matchups tomorrow. Bryan's going to have the Philadelphia offense. Voch is going to give us a rundown on the Cowboys defense and how they match up. We'll do that starting tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow and Friday. We'll flip on Friday. And then next Tuesday, we're going to get you guys ready for the season. We'll tell you what's going to happen in Philadelphia. Till then, for Voch Lombardi, Bryan Broaddus, and Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!